Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Meaningful Motivations with Tracey Erickson. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracey Erickson, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing the 3 universal centers. So stay tuned. So today we will be discussing the 3 universal centers. And the inspiration for today's video actually comes from The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. And in his great large work, there are so many different topics covered. So this morning, as I was having my quiet time with coffee on the deck, I was reading through a randomly selected area of this book. And I came across these 3 universal centers and thought that I'd share information about it for you guys, because this is definitely some information that, when reflected and pondered upon, can actually help you to raise your vibration and possibly even help you to understand your own divinity. This video is sponsored by me and Tracey's Apothecary. Tracey's Apothecary is my new Etsy shop, where I will be selling my intuitively selected essential oil and crystal blends. Each of these products from Tracey's Apothecary are created with the highest intentions for the highest good of all concerned. And each of these products is created in a sound bath of high vibration healing music, in an environment which is cleansed with the smoke of white sage and purified with the smoke of Palo Santo each day. Each and every product from Tracey's Apothecary will be charged with Reiki by me before being sent off to you. All of the products at Tracey's Apothecary are made with 100% pure ingredients, so you never have to worry about what is going into these products. If you would like to visit Tracey's Apothecary to support this channel, you can go to traceysapothecary.etsy.com and check out all of the different oil roller fragrances and blends that I have to offer there. In the section of the book on the human body and symbolism, Manly P. Hall describes it like this: both God and man have a twofold constitution, of which the superior part is invisible and the inferior visible. In both, there is also an intermediary sphere, marking the point where these visible and invisible natures meet. As the spiritual nature of God controls his objective universal form, which is actually a crystallized idea, so the spiritual nature of man is the invisible cause and controlling power of his visible material personality. Thus, it is evident that the spirit of man bears the same relationship to his material body that God bears to the objective universe. So in that little section that I just shared with you guys, Manly P. Hall is describing that God and man seem twofold, because we have this invisible realm within us, which is kind of like the idea itself. And then we have the visible form of us, which is the crystallized idea. And in the sense of the human body, our physical body is the crystallized idea of the inner essence of who you are. And so basically of your spirit. So with this twofold constitution, he also says there's this, thing linking the two, the inferior visible and the superior invisible. So that thing linking the two is like what unites the visible with the invisible world. And then Manly P. Hall goes on to say, according to another concept of the ancient wisdom, all bodies, whether spiritual or material, have three centers, called by the Greeks the upper center, the middle center, and the lower center. While that which is above is generally considered superior in dignity and power, in reality, that which is in the center is superior and anterior to both that which is said to be above and that which is said to be below. Therefore, it must be said that the first, which is considered as being above, is actually in the center, while both of the others, which are said to be either above or below, are actually beneath. This point can be further simplified if the reader will consider above as indicating degree of proximity to source, and below as indicating degree of distance from source, being posited in the actual center, and relative distance being the various points along the radii from the center toward the circumference. In matters pertaining to philosophy and theology, up may be considered as toward the center and down as toward the circumference. Center is spirit, circumference is matter. Therefore, up is toward spirit along an ascending scale of spirituality. Down is toward matter along an ascending scale of materiality. The latter concept is partly expressed by the apex of a cone, which, when viewed from above, is seen as a point in the exact center of the circumference formed by the base of the cone. And then Hall goes on to say, these three universal centers, the one above, the one below, and the link uniting them, represent three suns, or three aspects of one sun. And in regards to the three universal centers, Thomas Taylor is quoted saying, the first of these is analogous to light when viewed subsisting in the fountain of the sun. The second to the light immediately proceeding from the sun. And the third to the splendor communicating to the other natures by this light. So getting to the point here on these three universal centers, let's see what Manly P. Hall has to say about the three universal centers in relation to the human body. Since the superior or spiritual center is in the midst of the other two, its analog in the physical body is the heart, the most spiritual and mysterious organ in the human body. The second center, or the link between the superior and inferior worlds, is elevated to the position of the greatest physical dignity, the brain. The third, or lower center, is relegated to the position of least physical dignity, but the greatest physical importance, the generative system. Thus, the heart is symbolically the source of life. The brain, the link by which, through rational intelligence, life and form are united. And the generative system, or infernal creator, the source of that power by which physical organisms are produced. The ideals and aspirations of the individual depend largely upon which of these three centers of power predominates in scope and activity of expression. Okay, you guys, did you hear that? He states that the ideals and aspirations of the individual, so you and me, our ideals and our aspirations largely depend on which of these three centers is more active in expression. So that means as you move about your day-to-day life here in the physical world, which of these three main centers are you generally expressing from? So it's obviously going to determine the quality of your life and the quality of your inspiration and what you are striving to become as well. Manly P. Hall goes on to explain, in the materialist, the lower center is the strongest. In the intellectualist, the higher center. But in the initiate, the middle center, by bathing the two extremes in a flood of spiritual effulgence, controls wholesomely both the mind and body. It's definitely easy to see what he means here. So anyone who's very materialistic and focused in their ego and material things and possessions and gaining more and more, those are the people who are more expressed through that lower center. And then those who are very much an intellectualist, who sometimes can even be to the point of overthinking everything, those kind of intellectualist type of people are working more from the above. But it is the spiritual person, the one who can unite mind and body in the heart. Those are the ones that can have the most wholesome experience. They're not only focused on what they can attain here in the physical world, and their head is not lost in the clouds overthinking every little thing. It is the spiritualist who can bring the two together and bring that intellect into earth and bring whatever they're doing on earth back up to their intellect. And it's all done through the heart. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button and share this video with all your friends out there. And of course, if you are a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would just love for you to click subscribe down below. And once you've subscribed, you can turn on notifications bell if you would like to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.